All right, so really quickly, we have a question about age and dating women, and this guy's 39. Okay, so he lives in Asia as well. And when girls who are younger, like in the 21, 25, and even younger than that, they'll ask oftentimes like, well, how old are you? And so the older man is like, fuck. And the cool thing about now, so this is the cool thing about the dating and seduction scene now, is that older men no longer think they need to be like younger men, or that's more rare. But man, like 5 years ago, like 10 years ago was terrible. There were like these guys like 40 or 50 and they like, get the faux hawk and wear all the cool shirts and they have like an affliction t-shirt and it's like, dude, this is not good. You're losing all of your value as a man trying to be a kid. And one of the biggest things for a woman who's younger, right, is that she can have a guy that's established. Like she has her friends to play with. She has her friends to fuck up with. She has her friends that, it's probably going to be bad sex or whatever, because the guys are inexperienced and they're inexperienced. They don't know either. And they have a guy who has some life experience. He has a house, he like does adult stuff. And then he'll get the 40-year-old guy and he's like, yeah, but I'm just an accountant. That's not established. Well, to a 20-year-old girl, that's a career. That's good. And an accountant is established. I don't mean to knock that in any way, but there's a lot of guys who have this like, but I'm just this with my career and I should be so much. Dude, she doesn't care. Here's some things that you need to know. Okay. So first off, any girl that's really, really attractive gets a lot of attention from men and she's, 18 to 26. She's dated a guy who's like 10 to 15 years older than her. Okay. So that's very common. Okay. Of course, not every woman has done that, but she's dated a lot of older men. So, or not a lot, but she's had a relationship with him. So it does happen. It is possible. So why is it not happening to all older men? Well, a lot of older men are married or they're stuck in their career. They don't know how to be social. They don't know how to get out and make these connections. So you actually have the best. You have such an awesome thing. You have such an awesome advantage because nobody else is doing what you're doing. And then all the young kids who are the same age as her, let's say she's 24 and they're 24, 25, 26. They're the 28-year-old that's older and more mature. Fuck, you blow them out of the water. The problem is if you talk to them like a young dude, you blow yourself out of the water because you're not. Your whole value is that you're different than her and you're stable and you will have better sex. And if you can't get it up, you'll make her feel at home as a woman and all this. There's so many advantages that you don't even know you have. And it's that she has no access to and she wants. You are the prize. Okay. So as my very chauvinistic friend says, men appreciate and women, well, they depreciate. That's what he says, but there's some truth to it. Okay. I'm not saying that to like a lot of like men's rights guys are like, that hot chick only has 5 more years before she's shit. Whatever. Okay. So the thing is when a girl asks you that question, how old are you? I would just answer and I would start to realize why she's asking it. Okay. So it's like, yeah, I'm 39. But are you asking that because there's some rule that you have that gets in the way of having a good time? Or what? I don't understand. So I would counter it very much. So everybody used to always bring up the movie Vicky Cristina Barcelona and talk about how Javier Bardem approaches those girls. And way back when in 2007 or whenever the movie came out, there were all these posts about it. But nobody brings up the awesome stuff that the genius Woody Allen, who has way too much experience with women and gets himself in trouble for it, gets in his writing. This guy's amazing. You should watch his movies because he just gets it, man. He gets the man-woman dynamic in such an interesting way. And he basically, when the Javier Bardem character gets resistance, it's like, oh, well, we're not just sluts. What does he say? Well, wait, do you think of yourself that lowly? I don't understand it. And the other things like, it's like, well, let's do this. Well, I don't know this and that, da-da-da. And he's like, do you always make things so complicated? So these are forms of resistance. Okay. And you need to assert what you really mean. When you're 39, 40, 50, you're talking to a beautiful girl. You're not trying to go like, she doesn't know. She's afraid. She thinks it's bad for an older man to talk to her or it's creepy. The only time you're going to be called a creep is if you think you're a creep and you're not communicating with her. The key is to have understanding happen. So you want understanding is key. It takes judgment out of everything. People can make a choice and not like you, but what we really fear is judgment. We want people to make choices about us. Okay. So we like, it's, well, how old are you? Yeah, I'm 39. I'm 40, 46. Yeah, I'm 70, whatever it is. Why are you asking? Is there some problem? Oh, you're old enough to be my dad or whatever, or yada, yada. Oh, okay. I mean, I was having a conversation with you, but like, is this something like to keep you from meeting people or experiencing good things in your life? Like, anyway, let me change the subject and put it back on track. Anyway, let me tell you, woman, the real beauties and benefits of meeting people and connecting with them, or dating people, or having these experiences. And it's so interesting. I used to watch a lot of movies, not so much anymore, but even if you watch Eyes Wide Shut, they try and hit it with this, but they miss it. And they should have kept Harvey Keitel. But the gossip behind that is Harvey Keitel played the Sidney Pollack version. And then he is a hardcore method actor that does all this fucked up shit, but he masturbated and threw his cum at Nicole Kidman, and Tom Cruise got him fired off the set, and they had to reshoot everything with Sidney Pollack. But anyway, there's this guy that's dancing with Nicole Kidman, and he's Hungarian, and he's like, I'm Hungarian. You're beautiful. What about the pleasures of life? But he just has a bad rap. He's trying to hit the feeling and what those things really mean. But man, there's that beautiful temptation that an older man who has authority can present to a woman that she doesn't know. And you have to be able to read it. You might need to fake it at first and just be like, well, how old are you? Well, you're too old, or you're an old guy. Why would you say that? Have you not had fun? You just have dated women or guys that are the same age as you? Why? Don't you realize how beautiful you are? Because that's why you're talking to them. You have an opportunity to give them. You have a great thing to offer them. You need to let them know that. And that is super motherfucking important. That's really, really important. Okay. To be able to put that out there. Now, a lot of times in pickup, they'd call that a reframe or so on, but I don't even call it a reframe. I mean, technically you can, but I just really believe that. And you need to believe that. You need to know the reality of what younger women go through with dating people. And when they question you, it's because they're afraid and they don't know and they need to understand. And you can calm that fear and you can make it clear of what this is. And I would call it out. There's also way more ways to do this. You can talk to Jim or some of the other, Jim's in his 50s, and that guy's like, go through the drive-through with that guy and some hot young chick at the Whataburger or whatever. And he's like, hey, yeah, you have a pretty smile. And you're like, God, Jim, you're fucking embarrassing. It gets creepy, right? It's fucking creepy, and I'm embarrassed. And fuck, Jesus Christ, this guy never stops. And he's like, well, wait a minute. Why does that bother you? Why does that have to bother you? Beauty is something that's everywhere in the world and nobody sees it. I was just saying it. You can let it go. We can say goodbye. But, and it's just great to see. So there's a lot of different ways that guys put this out there. And I would encourage you to do the same.